going on, everybody? Got 5 on 5 thumbs up. Gonna have a good discussion tonight. Everybody get on here. Hey, JEC and me, Miss Emma. Mark at Rolling Homestead. What's going on? Mims' Garden, my sister. What's going on? We'll talk about some food prep tonight. Hey, Patricia Call. Hope I said your name right. You're a new member. Good to see you here. And Mark, thank you for joining. That's awesome, brother. I appreciate that. I don't know who all is on and seeing us. I am feeling a little bit poopy today, a little run down and tired. I think it's just the heat. It was 95 and humid today, and then rained and all that good stuff. So just rocking and rolling. Oh, so we're doing that. Mark has already found the hammer and the fried egg. Hey, Sally Starnes, how are you? Welcome from Tyler, Texas. I appreciate you coming on here and joining us. We may have Mims. We may have a lot of new names on here. Hey, Pam Clayton, how are you? TJ, what's going on, my brother? You should have a package leaving out Friday coming to you. We might have a bunch of new people on here, Mims, tonight. So just be prepared that there might be a lot of names we don't usually see. Good to see you, Mark, too. I appreciate you calling me out there, brother, in my worst gardening season ever. It is not a good gardening season, but I'm going to do your video for you because it's going to be rough. But it's good for people to see that. So it's going to be interesting. J.E.N.T. says, how are you doing, Miss Mims? Miss Emma is on. Patty M., hey, from New Jersey. How are you today? Appreciate you guys come on. As everybody gets on here, and I'll explain, we started a few minutes early because I figured we'd have some new names. For all you new folks on here, let me explain how we do our lives. What we do is we wait, just kind of chit chat and talk for the first 10 or 15 minutes. And at about 10:15, I'm going to read scripture. My scripture that I read is provided from someone from last week's live. And then we'll get into our subject. Our subject matter is always given in most cases by someone from the week previous as well. This week, we're going to be talking about food preservation and the different ways that you can do that, as well as we are going to be reading Proverbs 3. Proverbs 3 is a little bit longer, chapter and verse, so we will be doing that. Take a few minutes, and we always have the good Lord mixed in and out. But if you're not religious, don't let that run you away, because we don't try to beat you over the head with the Bible. We just try to share the word. So, Felicia Crafty Adventure, how's it going? My neighbor in Knoxville, I love it. So, Mama Z's Texas Kitchen in the house. There's another egghead. If you guys see and you're new and you see anybody with the egg beside their name, they are members. Back to Rootstead, how are you doing? When you see that, they're a member on the page. If their name is in blue or they have a wrench, because sometimes they have an egg and a wrench, they are my moderators. They are awesome. Most everybody that's on here has a channel of some sort. I would say probably 85% of people on here have a channel. So I suggest that you go try to check each other out. We're not a sub for sub type thing, but there is a lot of good content on here. If you're into canning and stuff like that, Mims' Garden is amazing. J.E.N.C. Miss Emma is a gymnast. Back to Rootstead, awesome couple. So just look, Rolling Homestead Mark, if you want to learn about wild edibles and stuff, especially from the up north, Wisconsin area, definitely go check him out. We're going to be doing some stuff. I'm doing a collab with him right now. My garden has absolutely failed this year. I've got very few things other than lettuce and spinaches that have done well. Maybe out of 45 or 50 tomato plants, I may have 10 that are doing well. I absolutely produced no squash and no zucchini this year. So a lot of stuff coming out you're going to see on a video here soon. just a little bit crazy. So I think Mark commented and laughed at me about my garden felling earlier. I got to go back up here and read that. More about meeting new homesteaders. Absolutely. So that's where we're at. That's kind of how we roll. I'll probably explain that a couple of more times as we go through and stuff for new people, and see what we can do. Emma, you know what you can do with that groundhog, don't you? That groundhog will eat very good. Groundhogs are vegetarian and they have lots of fat on them, and their meat is absolutely wonderful. And a lot of people look at me really weird, but they are very, very good eating animals. Beaver is another great one too. Beaver is the best meat you've probably ever eaten in your life. Yep, eat it. Mama Z says eat it. Shadow Ridge down south. What's going on? Northeast Mississippi, it looks like. We got a bunch of people that are Mississippians. Just found a big old beetle inside of a jar I have over here. Kind of interesting. But so we may see a lot of names. There's some family. Grammy Karen. For you new guys, Pam Clayton, how are you? Everything. We just got so much water in here. For all you new people on here, if you have a question that you want directed, if you need something, a way to contact me or something like that, Grammy Karen, Mims's Garden, Fairy Tale Creation. There's a bunch of them on here. Actually, you'll see anybody in the blue can answer a question. So if you want to, if I miss you or keep going over you, uh, refer and click them and add them into your question, and they'll make sure that I get it. Mo Homesteading, what's going on? Yeah, please hit that thumbs up when you come in. Fancy Farmer, what's going on? Welcome. We appreciate all of you new people. Andrea Cole, how are you doing? Um, we're gonna have a good conversation. We are very interactive. We really enjoy getting the chat involved in the questions and in the conversations, because I have a pretty in-depth knowledge of most things, but I don't have the knowledge that this combined group does. Um, like I said, I do a lot of wild edibles and hunting and fishing and stuff, but Rolling Homestead is amazing at that as well. You'll see food forest permaculture coming in. If you're wanting to do some more of that back to Eden type stuff and that type of gardening and learn that way of doing it, food forest permaculture, I'm sure will pop in here tonight. And Howie is an amazing individual to go learn that from. We got Hardneck Farms and Narrowway Farms. We have everybody of every different religion, race, creed on here. We talk. I am a warrior of God, as I call myself. I love Jesus Christ. But you will find that some of the things we talk about on here are maybe not the same thing you'll hear in church. And what I ask you to do is just, if you're new, listen to what I'm saying, take what you want out of it, and take it from there. There, oh, Mark, Rolling Homestead, Wild Edibles in Virginia or Wisconsin. If you don't know Grammy Karen, you are in for a treat. That young lady is amazing, and she is absolutely one of the best subs anybody can have. And Grammy Karen, if you're not over and sub to Rolling Homestead Wild Edibles, you need to go do it, because you are going to eat that one up. Um, yeah, good brother in Christ. Yeah, you've got a lot of us on here, but Grammy Karen, you'll enjoy Mark's channel a lot, a whole lot. So that's Rolling Homestead is Mark. You will enjoy that thoroughly. I do, so it's good stuff. Thank you. Most people call me Mo Fancy Farmer. Mo. Uh, she just You're good. Rehab Life, what's going on? How are you tonight? All right. We're just not getting on here, so we're going to keep letting people come on. I think it's going to be a big group tonight, and it's going to be fun. I actually am going to jump over and grab my drink real quick. I have a drink in the freezer. Let me go grab that real quick. It's pretty hot. Lynn the Okie, how are you? Appreciate you coming in here. I'll be right back. You just take 2 seconds. I should have done that before we got started. I'm very, very sorry about that. Moon Farm, Tracy, what's going on? I'm right here. I had to go get my vitamin C. I've been feeling a little dumpy. So, so there, Karen Lezel, how are you? Sorry about that. If you're new, told you Food Forest Permaculture would be here. I was just telling everybody that if they haven't went over and taken part, we've got a lot of new people in the house tonight, Howie. And I told them they needed to go over. If they're wanting to learn that natural organic way of growing through permaculture and things of that nature, that you're one of the main people to go watch. So I was just talking about you. You must have got that little creepy feeling up your back. Evening, all 96 degrees in my pool. Hey, Chris, that's craziness. So it's really, really neat to see that. Getting started on the homestead. How are you? Nicole Chilson, how are you? Adina S., how are you? First timer. We appreciate all of you guys. We really, really do. Now that we've got another 20 or so people on here, I'm going to explain how we do things here. And I'll probably do this 2 or 3 times. So if you already heard me say this, just block me out for a few minutes. But for the first timers here, we usually go until about 10 or 15 minutes after 10 and let everybody come on. We just chit chat and talk about what's going to go on down to your homestead humor in the house, what's going on. And we talk. I say hi to everybody as they come in, let people talk to each other. Freaky Geeks in the house. He's a lot of fun. And we talk. And then at about 15 minutes after 10, I'm going to read some scripture. And the way we do scripture and stuff here is someone from the week before suggests scripture. And we don't usually just read chapter verse. We read the entire chapter because we feel that you need to read the entire chapter to understand what's being said. When you start pulling out verses, you lose the context of what is being said. So we do that. If you're not religious, you can listen. I would hope that you listen, and it's just something that we do, and appreciate, and we love Jesus Christ. But we have people that are in here that are pagan. We have people in here that are Buddhist. We have people in here that are agnostic. We all share the love of the land. And but I love Jesus Christ, and I am a warrior of God, so I do share that. That's part of me. If you don't like that part of me, I'm very sorry, and you make your choice the way you need to do it. But then after we talk about the Lord, we get into talking about whatever our subject matter is going to be. And someone from the week before also picks out our subject matter for the night, for the next week. So what we're going to be doing is we are actually going to be talking about food preparation and preservation tonight. So it should be a really good way to go about stuff. If you have a question, put it in all caps for me. If you need an email address or you need a link or something like that, request it. Mims's Garden, Grammy, Karen, anybody that you see their name or they have a wrench beside their name, we'll make sure that that gets done. Equin Pepper, how are you? Trying to make sure I don't miss anybody as you guys come in. But guys, let me explain to you, all you regulars, the new names that you're seeing on here. I've got all the seeds from Baker Creek. I put that out there a couple of times. If you needed seeds, to let me know. And what I did is the other night I was on Roots and Refuge and just doing their live and moderating for them. And everybody, I mean, it was literally almost the entire chat. There was thousands of people on there. Everybody was talking about how they cannot find seeds for fall garden, for anything. So I told Jess is if they would, um, Jen, awesome. Jesus is first. If they would provide the shipping, that I would send out 10 to 15, 20 packs of seeds and send them out to everybody as long as they did that. And I've got 500 and something requests. So I started at the bottom and worked my way through. If there's any of my regular subscribers, Duncan 1900, how are you? Any of you guys that are, my longtime subscribers and stuff, send me an email if you need something, and we'll try to get it, which I've asked all of you guys that before. But if you need something, let me know, and we'll try to take care of you. Kelly Palazzi, how are you? Appreciate you coming over. Most everybody here is from Reach and Refuge at some point in time anyway. We love Jess and Maya. They're actually very, very good friends, and I'm loving it. So what we are talking about tonight is food preservation and stuff. We're going to read Proverbs 3. Proverbs 3 is a little long. It shouldn't take too long. One of the things you should know while I'm reading scripture is I have severe dyslexia. For all of you guys that are new here, I have really, really bad dyslexia, but I enjoy reading the Bible. So North Star Prep Stutter, how are you? There's another one. If you need any information, she can. So if you're new, direct a comment toward her as well. But when I read, sometimes it's a little jumbled. Sometimes the Lord lays his hand on me and it's perfect. But what we're going to do, we are going to read it anyway. So that's just kind of how we roll with it. So just take it with a grain of salt and enjoy. Hey, gotta love it, brother. I appreciate that, Mark Rolling Homestead. Guys, you guys don't have to feel like you need to do super chats and stuff when they do come in. It's awesome. For you guys that don't know, we got gifted a truck. It's not a new truck. It's a 2004 Dodge Ram 2-wheel drive quad trab, but we have to go down and pick that truck up. And I had told everybody before that any super chats, anything we had was going to go to purchasing a newer vehicle. My little 93 Toyota is rough. So now all the super chats and anything that we get through that nature will be used to pay the taxes on this vehicle, because we still have to pay taxes, insurance, and to get down, we have to go to Florida to pick up that vehicle. So that is where these funds will go to. Anything we don't make a lot, guys. Anybody that tells you they make a lot of money before 100,000 subscribers either has a great following of people that throw money through them through super chats and stuff, because through YouTube, honestly, with the videos that we put out and stuff, I might make $100 to $150 a month on average throughout the year. So it's nice. It's an extra little something. I usually put it in towards something for ELYN or back into the homestead itself. But that's kind of it. We're pretty open here. We'll tell you if you have a question about how YouTube works and you're trying to set up a channel, ask. One of us will answer it for you. Most everybody, like I said, on here has a channel. So Mark, I appreciate that $5 super chat, and that's where that money will be going to. So I appreciate it. I made his list. Don't know what I need. I'm new. Patrick Hall, you are fine. What happened was we just got so many. I started at the bottom of the list, the first emails we have, and I started running up that list. And I will stop when I run out of seeds. I am probably maybe a third of the way through the seeds that Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds and Rare Seeds gave me. And I've got 75 packages of seeds that are going out as of now. And 75 or 76 packs of seeds that are already labeled and done, and the shipping's been paid for. So for all of you guys that have gotten on the seed list that have sent, it's $7.99 is usually about what it is for flat rate shipping most everywhere. It's one of those things where that's what we're doing. I'm not doing outside of the country. Last package I sent to Canada got confiscated by customs, so we're not going to do that. Kathy Wells, how are you? So we're not doing outside of the country, and we're not going to do outside of the lower 48. And the reason for that is that when we go into Alaska and we go into Hawaii, you're literally talking $20 or $30 to ship. So for you guys that have done that extra dollar or $2 or 10 when you've gotten your seeds, that's working out to where I've helped out a couple of other people and families that I already know need stuff that I got to. Simple Southern Roots, how are you? Goal is 1,000. What is our goal of 1,000 for? I hope we get 1,000 people on here watching tonight, if that's what you mean. Marble Girl Company, how are you? First time watching you. Excited to be here. I'm excited for you to be here. So what we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to be reading Proverbs chapter 3. And if you'd like to grab your good book and follow along with me, like I said, I have severe dyslexia, so when I get tumbled up, you may be able to see where we're at. So for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore all of your questions and give this a little bit of time to the Lord. I'm going to read this to you. and we're going to go from there. But we are going to try to read the entire Proverbs chapter 3 right now, and that'll be verses 1 through 35. And it's a lot of little excerpts of just knowledge. So here we go. It starts off, and chapter 3 is titled, and I read the, by the way, I read the NIV, guys. Not that it's better than anything else, but what I like about the NIV study Bible is that it actually gives you reference points of where to go look this up in other literature and other places to gain knowledge. It'll also give you ways to, and I'm saying this now for all the new people, it also gives it ways for you to, hey, Christine Harrison, good to see you. It also gives you ways to where if you're having a conversation with someone that is not a believer, it gives you places to go where you don't have to use the Bible. What it does is it gives you the ability to go in and talk about how the Romans wrote about Jesus Christ, how the Egyptians wrote about Jesus Christ. You know, when other cultures that aren't biblically, not this book right here, not any of the writings of the prophets and the disciples, but the writings of other cultures, other religious people, and other things, talking about the miracles that the man Jesus Christ performed, um, and talking about God working through him. It's an easier way to have a conversation with somebody that's not a believer and not use this book. This book's a guide for Christians. This book is a guide for you. When you get into talking to somebody that doesn't believe, it's a little easier for you to go into that conversation using other literature and other sets for set markers for that to break that ice. And then once you've shown them that you're not beating them with the Bible's easy to pull out and start to have a conversation. Um, I used to have a little pin I used to wear, and it said, never go into a battle of wits unarmed, or go into a battle of wits with an unarmed person. So let's read Proverbs chapter 3 now, guys. And the title of chapter 3 in the NIV is Wisdom Bestowed Well-Being. My son, do not forget my teachings, but keep my commands in your heart, for they will prolong your life many years and bring you peace and prosperity. Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and good name in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil. This will bring you health, will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones. Honor the Lord with the wealth, with your wealth, with the uh, first fruits of all your crops. Then, uh, then your barn will be filled to overflowing, and your vat will brim over with new wine. My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline, and do not resent his rebuke, because the Lord disciplines those he loves. As a father, the son he delights in. Blessed are those who find wisdom, those who gain understanding, for she is more profitable than silver and yields better returns than gold. She is more precious than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with her. With her long life in her right hand, in her left hand are riches and honors. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peace. She is in a tree of life. To those who take a hold of her, those who hold her fast will be blessed. By wisdom the Lord laid the earth's foundation. By understanding he set the heavens in place. By his knowledge the watery depths were divided, and the clouds let drop the dew. My son, do not let wisdom and understanding out of your sight. Preserve sound judgment and direction. They will be life for you, an ornament to grace your neck. Then you will be on your way in safety, and your foot will not stumble when you lie down. Your foot will not stumble. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. Have no fear of sudden disaster or of the ruin that overtakes the wicked. The ruin that overtakes the wicked. For the Lord will be at your side and will keep your foot from being snared. Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due. When it is in your power to act, do not say to your neighbor, "Come back tomorrow and I'll give it to you," when you already have it with you. Do not plot harm against your neighbor who lives trustfully near you. Do not accuse anyone for no reason when they have done you no harm. Do not envy the violent or choose any of their ways. For the Lord detests the perverse, but takes the upright into his confidence. The Lord's curse is on the house of the wicked, but he blessed the home of the righteous. He mocks proud mockers, but shows favor to the humble and oppressed. The wise inherit honor, but fools get only shame. Wow, what wisdom lies in Proverbs 3. I mean, you go in here and he talks about everything that the homesteading community is about. He talks about it doesn't matter what your religious beliefs are. It doesn't matter where you're at. It talks about that the Mother Earth, that where we're at today, is what we're supposed to be here for. What we have to be here for on this earth is to be good stewards, to learn to cultivate this land, to steward her with our own bodies, to continue on and love this Mother Earth, this Garden of Eden that we still live in today. See, the difference of what Adam and Eve lived in and what we lived in is God came down when Eve partaked in the fruit and got Adam too, and he took the magic away. We are still in the Garden of Eden. We just now have to work it by the sweat of our brow. And that's what people miss a lot of times, what Christians miss a lot of times, is we are here. We are in the place that God, for lack of better words for understanding, for God himself made earth as his resting place, where he would come and recover, where he would rest and be just so overwhelmed by goodness that he created. And then we took advantage of that, and we've taken ourselves to a position of having to work by the sweat of our brow, to not have modesty, to be able to go through life and understand that. But the homesteading community, on such a different level, it is exactly what Jesus Christ wanted us to do. He wants us to steward this earth. He wants us to be good to her. He wants us to clean her. He wants us to nurture her. He wants us to eat from her bosom. He wants us to grow food. He wants us to harvest food. He wants us to raise livestock. Guys, how is that not everything that the homesteading community is? How is it not? So what I say to you tonight is, when you're alone, get on a bent knee, say a prayer to whoever it is, but say thank you to Mother Earth. Say thank you for what Jesus Christ and what God gave us, because he gave us the power to do everything that he did when he created it. He gave us the power as men and women to have children, his greatest achievement. He gave us the power to cultivate the land and turn it into food to nourish our bodies. He gave us the ability to raise animals and to be able to take them and turn them um, into nourishment for our bodies. He gave us animals to hunt and to fish, but he gave us one another to love. So before we get in our subject, I just want you all, the new and the old, to understand that I love you, and so does Jesus. And I appreciate you, each and every one. So thanks. Ivan, welcome in the house. Amy Wall, welcome. If I missed your name, it's there. I'll catch you here in a little bit. Um, and if you need to put something on, please put it in all caps for me. Hey, everyone, we have been busy. Prayers, everyone is well. Gosh Mania, prayers for you guys too. I hope your family is there. Hey, what's going on, Catherine Van Rosen? How are you? Hey, Elena, how are you? Are you keeping Ivan in check now? That if you guys don't know, Elena and Ivan at like 35 are retired. They're done. Put their truck keys up. They bought them a car. They're getting their stuff together and they're hitting the road. Thank you, Emma. Appreciate you. Um, they're done. They're going to be here. I think he said in September, or sometime in that period, and we're going to make it happen. I'm going to hopefully into Colorado at some point in time at that time. So I love the word. Thank you. We love the word too. Most everybody in here understands what it means to steward this land. So now we're going to go into the next step of this, guys. For you new guys, new people here, we're going to get into food forest permaculture. He's up in the house giving us his dot, making sure his name rolls by because he's a smart man. Any ideas of what these copper metallic looking flies are all over my plants? Copper metal. Are they a greenish color? If they're a greenish color, it might be that if you're using compost from horse farms and stuff, a greenish color fly is usually that goes toward manure. Plain speaker, I realized not long ago that the proverb that David Ramsey quotes in the house of the wise are stores of food and oil, and literally, so I am preparing. Yes, prepping. Plain speaker, welcome. You're here early today. I love it. All right, let's see who else is here. See, Dean, what's going on? Japanese. Well, I think she's saying it's a fly. I don't think if it's a beetle, it'll be a hard shell. If I think it whichever one. So I don't know. We'll have to see a little bit more. I'll have to get a little more information from you. Do they look like ladybugs, but not? Could be Japanese beetle. Could be Japanese. No, they're dark, like literally shiny copper, and look like mini wasp and flies. It may be some type of bee. We have a little small bee around here. Horseflies around here are solid black and bite like crazy. Hey, Caleb, Chris is. Guys, let me introduce myself for all you guys new people. My name is Chris, and this is Single Dad Homesteading. I'm 46 years old, and me and my 7-year-old daughter live in Northeast Tennessee in the Appalachian Mountains. We live completely off grid. I say completely. The only thing we're tied to the grid on is this internet. And since COVID, we've had the internet put into the home. We have solar panels. We run 2 big wood cook stoves. We try to provide most of our own food. Last year, we were about 65%. This year, we'll probably be at the same because the garden didn't do as well. We hunt, we fish. A lot of the things you'll see on the channel are to do with solar and preparedness to put up stuff and have it ready. We do firearms. I am a United States Marine, and I am a retired oh, awesome, JEC. He's almost EMT. I am a retired federal law enforcement officer. So that is kind of what we do. I am a single father, full time. I have full custody of my daughter, and we live here. She's gonna be 7 in August. We homeschool. We do everything here. She actually, for all of you guys that know, sweet little ELYN got in trouble tonight. She got really smart mouth and told me she wasn't going to turn off her TV tonight for the live because she has to go to bed a little bit earlier. So I quietly walked up to her room, reached behind the counter, unplugged it, and removed the TV from her room. And she cried herself to sleep. I told her I loved her and that she could earn it back. But sometimes you got to be a dad. I mean, she's not gonna do that. Yeah, I smoke a lot of my food. I do that, and we're gonna get into that. So let's start. Yeah, everybody's like, "Oh no." So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into food preservation. So number one food preservation that I think everybody overlooks at is just simply hang drying. Food forest permaculture does a lot of this, but just hanging your herbs, hanging your and braiding your garlic and your onions, and putting your potatoes up. And we'll go in through some of each of these. I think that's one of the ones that people kind of just overlook. Um, I got a big beetle that needed to go away over here. Joe, how are you doing tonight? So that's one of the ones I think people overlook a lot, is just simply drying your food naturally, not dehydrating, but just hanging your food, your herbs, your natural municipals up to dry. All of my mushrooms that I do during the year, all my morels and things like that, I let them dry. I cut them in two and I let them dry in the sun, inside the house. I let them dry out till they're when you break them, they sound like a potato chip, and they go right into a mason jar. They keep tight. I go and I pick herbs off of my plants all year long, and I keep them out, let them dry out, and that goes into jars as well. I usually lose little half pints on those, and I keep those stuff up. So that's one that I think everybody kind of looks over and just takes it as, oh, well, if you don't have a high cylinder someplace where you go, or you're very, very, if you're very, yeah, Duncan 1900 does a lot of drying herbs too. Another great channel to go up. Sean in Alaska, that's another great channel to go check out. He's just getting his place in Alaska going up there. But if you can get into drying out your food naturally, it's really kind of awesome how you do that. What I would do next, I mean, that one's pretty easy. Let's hold up. So when we're talking about potatoes, if you're going to store potatoes through the winter, you're going to put them in your root cellar. You're going to put them down someplace. For you guys that have grown potatoes for the first time or not there, yeah, use small amounts to keep them fresh. You don't wash your potatoes. You can wipe them down pretty good, but don't wash your potatoes that you take out of the ground. Take them and put them in there, put them in the hay, mix them up, put them in a cool, dark place, and those potatoes will last you all winter. But you never, never, never want to wash your potatoes for storage, for long-term storage. Sharon, how are you doing? Amy Wall, how long do you cure potatoes? For me, when I do them, I take them out. I'll let them sit out and air dry until they look good. Once potatoes look good, it's just a look to me. They look nice and dry. They sit out for, I don't know, I'll let them sit out for a couple of days if it's just nice. And then I take it and I put them up, and they tend to keep very well. Now, if I'm going to take and I want my seed potatoes, I do them a little different. I don't put straw in them. I throw them in a box and I put them in the same area, but I do not put that there. All right, if you first year growing potatoes, wash them. All right, seeding. So now can them. They'll last a month or so usually without molding too bad. Go through, wash them off again, eye them, cut them up, and can your tomatoes or potatoes. One of the big things is when you're canning potatoes, parboil them, pour off the starch, and then can them back with some more water. I made a mistake on canning potatoes last year because I don't can potatoes a lot of times unless it's in a soup mix. So remember that. Go can those. What's up? What's up, Nathan? Samson Farms in the house. So that's a good one to do. When you're braiding, I'm just getting into braiding onions and stuff. So that's when I'm not as good to do that. You can get window screens at Habitat for Humanity store sometimes for free. Works weeks of, yeah, weeks of drying. Any type of grate or screen that you can get is awesome. So yeah, but don't let those seeding, don't let those go to waste. Get them cut up, get them jarred. If you're afraid of a canner, please don't be. Emily Gross, how are you doing? Um, don't 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 be afraid of a canner. There's plenty of videos. Mims's Garden, Duncan 1900, myself, um, Roots and Refuge over with Jess. We all can teach you by watching and going. What I would tell you is get the books that are old ball canning books and mason jar canning books and use common sense. Now, I'm not telling you not to do what the ball canning book things to do. Blanch potatoes and they dehydrate them for long-term storage. I would love to have me a freeze dryer, but I am not in a position to spend thousands of dollars on a freeze dryer and then put in 2 extra panels just to run it. Uh, so with that, those are things that you want to keep in mind when you're doing your herbs and your potatoes and stuff. I know I just got off topic there again. Pretty good. I'm trying to keep up with the chat and looking at it. Consider it Joy Homestead. How are you doing? Um, she's canning away too. If you guys, for all of you new people, that's another one that you need to know. If you're wanting to get into solar or alternative energy, consider it Joy Homestead. Lindy, her husband, that's what he does for a living. So if you need to get a hold of them, or you're looking for panels or pieces or parts and stuff like that, absolutely amazing channel to go watch. Not only for just that part of it, but for their canning and home preserving. They live in Kentucky. They're working on their forever homestead right now, and but he is your contact and connection for anything solar, anything wind, anything hydroelectric. That man will help you out. Cecilia, hey, how are you doing? So I'm just trying to catch everybody coming here. I saw C. Dean said you just did some pulled pork. That's awesome. Barbecue pork. All right. So let's get into our next level of food preservation. And that's your dehydrating. Peds, nurse care. Okay. Made my first batch of dill pickles today. They taste good. Use the ball book recipe. That's where I was at. Thank you. Let me go back. So get your older recipes, but use some common sense. Okay, guys. So here's how I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to get some people on here that are going to fuss at me really bad right now. I can almost 100% of my meat that I harvest, if it be from the homestead or if it be from hunting. And you have to use common sense when you're doing things, okay? When something tells you need to cook it for an hour and 45 minutes, all right? Let me give you a little, guys. I'm classically trained. I went to culinary school after I retired from the Air Marshals medically. And one of the things you have to realize is when you cook food for a certain length of time, you take away all the nutrition out of that food, okay? But what you have to use, this is where the common sense comes in. So if something's telling you, like if you're doing a quart of deer meat and you're raw packing that deer meat, okay, and you're putting salt into that deer meat, which you should be, and you put it in your pressure canner, it tells you have to cook it for like 90 minutes, hour and a half, okay? I don't do that. Now, I'm telling you what I do. I'm not telling you what to do. I cook my deer meat for 45 to 50 minutes. But when I count my timer, I do not start counting the cook time until it starts to jiggle. So you've got 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes of buildup time. I use a 925 All-American pressure canner. So I have a 25 to 30 minute buildup process before I get a good jiggle to get the pressure of cook time. Then I've got 45 to 55 minutes worth of cooking on pressure. And then once I turn the heat off, I've got another 25 to 30 minutes of cook time that's there. So I'm cooking that meat, and you're cooking that meat way longer than an hour and a half. So when you're thinking about that, keep that in mind. You have to reach to kill bacteria to 148 degrees, somewhere around there. And you have to hold that temperature for about 10 to 15 minutes to kill bacteria. That's just common sense. Okay. And it needs to be held there. So when you're going through and you're talking about canning and you're getting into it, you need to read the books. You need to take them seriously, but you also need to use some common sense. Denise Culford, how are you? You're brave, Duncan. Congratulations. I'm trying to empty out my freezer and can all the meat. Hey, can it all, guys. We're going to skip dehydration and we'll go to canning right now since we're talking about it, and then we'll come back to dehydration. On your canning, guys, you cannot beat canning. You have to have no type of utility. You can on a wood cook stove. It's a lot harder, and you got to figure it out. Water bathing. People tell you can't water bath meat. How do you think your great grandparents did it? Your great grandparents water bath meat. You have to be smart. If I water bath meat, I cook it first. I cook it. It comes straight from the pan or the pot and goes straight into the jars. I clean the jars. I put what liquid I want into them. I seal them, and I put them straight into the water, hot water. That food is never losing any type of temperature, and it's going to go. So then on water bathing with me, I do let it go for about 90 minutes to 2 hours because it's a totally different process. Um, how long do you count pork? For me on pork, I'll go about 55 to 60 minutes. But you remember, that's from jiggle, Mark. I do that from jiggle. So it's actually on 40. That's probably the longest meat that I do. Once you're in there, you're probably close to 2 hours of cook time on it when you're there. But so it's there. I'm trying to keep up with this chat too. Guys, remember, if you're new, put your questions in all caps for me, and I'll try to answer them as good as I can. I am in Tampa Bay area. Hey, Suzanne Breaker, how are you? Chambers. At this point, the only thing I use my dehydrator for is herbs. Okay, we'll get into that in a minute. So, one of the other things that we do when we're canning our vegetables and stuff, and we go through there and do that, is we make a lot of soups. And one of the hacks that I'll give you guys, like Duncan's talking about cleaning out her freezer right now. One of the hacks that I do is if I have something of that nature, I'll take and I'll make a huge pot, like the biggest pot I've got, full of whatever soup it is I'm making, minus noodles. I've done noodle soup before. People tell you can't. I've done it. It's okay. But I'll do a biggest thing of soup. We'll eat it for dinner, and then while it's still hot, I'm pushing it over, sealing it up, throwing it in the canner for 30 or 40 minutes. It's already cooked. Do some meats can better than others? I think that all meat cans better than you can cook it on the stove, especially if you taking it from freezer and doing it that way. But that's one of the hacks we do is we make those big things of see, yeah, but is it worth it? Single day. Is it worth it to make that big thing of soup and put it in there and then get, yeah, absolutely, because you're canning it, and then once it cools down, you've got that soup sitting on, just like your hungry man soup sitting on the counter. So when you come in, you pull it off, pour it out, and done. Have you done milk? I have never done milk. That is one thing that I've never done. I've done cheeses before. We just butchered a pig, so I made the bacon. Now I got a freezer full of pork. Understand? We hog hunted last year. I killed 200-pound pigs. And anybody that says killing a wild boar pig, you can't eat them, that's a lie. Up to about 200 pounds, I don't think you really get that much of a difference in taste. But we canned all of it as well. That is this darn beetle that's over here just won't die. Go away, beetle. So that's where I go with meat. If I have stuff that's in the freezer and you're going to clean it all out, make soups, make different things that you can do, and jar them. You can make chili. Make your chili, put those in there, add your beans and stuff, make your chilies, put them all up, and do that. Now, one of the things you can do with butter and stuff that people don't realize is you can reduce your butter down and make ghee, and then you can do your ghee into a jar, close it up, and ghee is shelf stable. So you can have that butter, you can spread it on your bread the whole time, and to me, ghee tastes better than ever, and that's just a reduced butter. You can look up how to make ghee, and it's very, very good, and I love it. So let me see if I can catch a thing, and then we're going to get into dehydrating. And I'm kind of just rolling over all these. Roasted tomato soup. Oh, yeah, that sounds wonderful. And I'm not a tomato eater as far as just a tomato. I am now putting up 35 more pounds of carrots and got 50 pounds last Thursday from the truck, freeze-dried, being repaired tomorrow, and need to start filling it every day to get this up. Yeah, Martha Adams, that is a dream for me. My biggest dream, literally on everything, is I would love to have a freeze dryer. That is one of those things that after everything's done, that will be a goal of mine, is to put a freeze dryer here in this area. I need to try some smoked pork and can it. Yep, we'll get into that in a second too. I'm going to go back to the smoking side. But let's get into our dehydrators. So your dehydrators, here is the thing with the dehydrator if you're off-grid. I'm going to talk about off-grid, and I'm going to talk about on-grid. Dehydrators and freeze dryers are not effective if you're off grid. And the reason that I say that is when you're trying to do a dehydrate, you have to run them for so long. You're killing all your power that you're storing up. So it's really hard unless you dedicate panels to those, and you can do that. You could dedicate 600 watts to a battery bank just to run the freeze dryer and stuff. Um, Freeze dried food. You can go to the Walmart and buy Mountain House. And if you buy the veggies and stuff, and actually Thrive Food is a lot better than Mountain House. Thrive Food, if you go to Two Family Homestead, you can go and there are dealers for Thrive Food, and it is exactly what it says. If it says it's carrots, it's carrots. It doesn't have anything else added to it. So freeze dried food is amazing. It keeps all its nutrition. It takes all the moisture. But freeze drying and dehydrating are really hard on that. Now, if you're on the grid and you have the money and the bill to do that, that is a big thing. Speaking of solar, how many batteries do you run for your off grid? Right now, I'm running 4 6-volt, 115 amp hour batteries in series for a 24-volt system. But Lundy from Considerate Joy Homestead is getting ready to build me 2 24-volt lithium-ion batteries. And that will almost triple my capacity with just 2 batteries. That is your biggest expense in solar is there. Oh yeah, North Star Prep Stetter is also a Thrive consultant. So if you need to look into that, that's there. But I think they're short on almost everything that they have. So freeze drying and dehydrating, both are great, especially for your fruits, for your bananas, your apples, your pears, your apricots, tomatoes, potatoes, all of that stuff. It just helps out so much to dehydrate stuff and put it away. It's a wonderful process of doing your food. Let's get into smoking. So smoking is probably one of the oldest forms of preserving your meat. And curing your meat. So what people don't realize is if you cold smoke something, you still have to cook that. It's not being cooked. If you smoke something like on a smoker, like I do, I have a 250-gallon oil can smoker, and every year for our birthday, I actually I do about 220 pounds of pork butt and chicken, and we have a big party for me and ELYN's birthday, because for you new people, ELYN was born on my birthday, August the 24th. So we have a birthday coming up in less than 30 days, 35 days, 40 days. And so we do that. And then whatever meat's left on there, I do reheat, keep it up all the way back up, bring it to temperature for that one time, pack it hot packed into jars, and then I do can that as well. And I usually end up with a whole run, 7 or 8 quarts of smoked meat after that. But you want to talk about awesome meat. You've smoked it and already broke it down slow and slow. Now you're putting it in a canning in a jar, and then you're setting on the shelf, and it's breaking down even more over those 6, 8, 9, a year, 2 years. Canned meat, I've eaten canned meat that's 9 years old, so it's there and it can do that. So the solar oven, the Sun oven is absolutely hands down the best solar oven on the market. It is super expensive. That is something that I've been meaning to stick on a wish list, but I don't think they carry that through Amazon. Is the solar oven. I've actually been there and witnessed that cooking and watched him cook a frozen chicken with all the veggies and everything in a pot in 4 hours in the sun in the winter. It's absolutely amazing. You can go over and see Doug and Stacy Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, and they are actually sponsored by Sun Oven, and they do a lot of their early videos were there, and that is an amazing product, which is not really food preservation, but it's a way you can cook without that. The Sun Oven is awesome. Go look it up, CD. Duncan 1900 or North Star Prep Center Men. There you go. Already there. I'm too slow. So the Sun Oven is right there. There's the website for them. They do a lot of good things. They are good Christian people, and they travel all over the world helping people out. You can make your own sun. Yeah, Cecilia Jansen, you can, and I've made several Sun Ovens, but I'm going to tell you what, with the money that I put into making a sun oven and the couple that I've done, absolutely go spend the 200 and something dollars and buy an actual sun oven from Sun Oven. Uh, Perfect. I mean, they've gotten everything, all the kinks, everything are worked out of that. It's amazing. Um, I just saw something from Joe. Joe, oh, that was for somebody else. Sun oven is great, but we have had 7 days without the sun. LOL. Mark, you guys are sponsored by Sun Oven too, aren't you? Are you guys sponsored by them? I'm thinking. I saw you cooking on during the winter on it. Joe, I prefer mule, but they are not in. Yeah, they're not in Tennessee either. So with the smoking, that's a great part. Now we had somebody ask about salt curing, and there's no such thing as sugar curing. You can add sugar to it, and it gives it a sweeter taste. But the salt's what's doing the curing. Uh, why was I thinking, Mark, that you guys were sponsored by Sun Oven too? Do you have a Sun Oven that you've done videos on before? I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out my left ear. I don't know. But so salt curing hams and making prosciuttos and things like that is just such a long process. Salt cured meat was something that we always had. My papa used to do that. But our weather has changed so much here in Northeast Tennessee that it is super, super hard for us to salt cure stuff without a smokehouse. And you smoke them in there and then you wrap them and do what you need to do. But our weather never drops enough to where we can get that several months of weather at a good temperature to do salt curing and stuff. So I can't really give you that much information on that. Now, the bacon, salt curing bacon and doing bacon and stuff, that one we always do through our refrigerator or in the cooler. It's about a 7 to 10 day process. You make up your brine, you rub and salt and use your smoke or use whatever, and you let it go and you keep flipping it, keep flipping it, keep flipping it, take the water out, and then you smoke it after the fact. And I think Mark just did that. Mark, are you Rolling Homestead? Are you going to do videos and show all that bacon? Have I missed that, or am I? I know you said earlier you had just made a bunch. Um, where do you live, Joe Serrano? Joe is our friend from down across the border. He's in Mexico, and he is an awesome individual. Off grid with Doug and Stacy. There you go. North Star Prep Stutters got it in there. Um, And then the root cellar is another way that you can preserve your food. Apples, carrots, uh, any of your brachyses, your broccoli, your cauliflower, your um, your cabbages and stuff. You can put a lot of those root vegetables and stuff and keep them if you have a apple cellar or a bullfrog swamp homestead. You can put all those things in your apple cellars and stuff in this area and keep those for a long time. Uh, Gridlessness is another channel that I watch a lot. It's a mother and father that have 6 girls that live off grid completely in Canada, in the middle of nowhere, and they're funny as can be. That's awesome. But they just probably built the nicest root cellar or apple cellar, as we call them here, I've ever seen, and it's awesome. Okay, so Denise is also in Mexico. You and Joe need to hook up if you're close together. Great people. Yep, there you go. North Star Prep Center just popped that in there. World Without Rule of Law, what's going on? Gridlessness, by far, no offense to anybody on here, Gridlessness is my favorite YouTube channel. If you are not a member and you are not subbed to that channel and you are into homesteading, and he's an engineer, the girls are homeschooled. When they reach 11 years old, they get their own rifle. They all hunt and fish. They all have to take on a building project. They made this huge catapulting spear throwing thing the other day, but the girls have to work out the physics and everything about it, and they go through and do all of this stuff. Just an amazing family. Him and his wife are truly in love. His best friend and him, the dad and the best friend, are just funny as can be in their commentation and stuff. They have the kids do their own little thing. One is responsible for goats. She raises out the goats and stuff. The girls Sean in Alaska, the 2 oldest girls just built their own cabin using the sawmill, built everything they had. And it is, to me, the way a child should be raised. And I'm trying a whole lot to do the same thing. And it's just awesome. So go check it out if you can. Gridlessness, it's listed up top. It's all there. The son of it and stuff. So my absolute favorite channel on YouTube. So when you go over there, if you give them a sub, tell them I sent you and that I said that they are the best channel on YouTube. And the funny thing is they only post like once, maybe twice a month, but their content is so amazing that you're waiting for it. You're waiting for it to see that and get it in there. So that's there. What other kind of food preservation have I missed here, guys? Don't forget your fish, guys. Catching your fish and stuff. You can can fish and you can dry fish. You can't. Kelly says she can't even get her son to take out the garbage. Take everything away from him. If he doesn't do what he's supposed to do, put him back to a pair of knockoff tennis shoes, a pair of nice jeans, and a couple of good T-shirts, and 7 pair of underwear, and make him wash them when he doesn't have anything clean, and let him earn back that stuff. Let him learn what it is to work and get those things. But then you reward them. I have a nephew that I raised from 13 on, and when he came to live with me, vacuum sealing. We'll talk about that in a second. When he came to live with me, we sat down, and he goes, "Okay, so what are the rules?" He was 13 years old, already been around the block a couple times, and I said, "Dylan," I said, "you have no rules. The only thing you have to know here is it's respect. If you have respect for me, I don't have to give you rules. You'll earn rules by through what you do." I said, "But respect is the biggest thing that you have. That's what you have to do is respect." And with respect means if I ask you to do something, you go do it, and then you talk to me if you have an issue with afterward. Respect means that you're going someplace, you let me know where you're at, when you'll be back, and how you're doing. JJ, you're something else, Chris. When we go through and we doing this stuff, take care. All got to get to bed. 6 a.m. comes early. Take care, Chris. Hey, Mark, I'll talk to you soon. Before you leave out of here, remember to tell all your guys when you're talking to them, if you don't mind, in your video, this Sunday at 5 o'clock, guys. We have. I was going to wait a little bit longer. We have 2 national heroes, 2 American heroes that I'm going to have here at my house. I'm making them dinner. Kyle Might and Chris Jones from Red Platoon for the Battle of Cop Keating in Afghanistan, the most bloody battle fought in modern history in any war since World War II, actually. And these were, less than 45, 50 guys, and they fought almost 500 Taliban, and they were down in a bowl. And these guys, you have 2 Medal of Honor, living Medal of Honor recipients that are out of this platoon, and they are going to come on. We are going to do our little thing, and their big thing that they're wanting to do is they want to get out the other names that are there, not just the names in the new movie Outpost and the book Red Platoon. If you've not watched Outpost, go watch it. Give them the support. Some of the money's going back to the guys. They lost 8 brothers, and their big thing is they just want everybody to understand that there was more than one person there, and the heroic acts of all of the individuals there, of all of these soldiers, were amazing. Not just the men that lost their lives, and not just the 2 men that won the Medal of Honor, but there was so many Bronze Stars, so many heroism medals, so many Purple Hearts, the whole 9 yards that were there. They just did an interview on the Scuttlebutt channel, and they did it, and it's going to be a 3-part series. Series 1 is already out, and they're talking. We're going to do ours a little different. We're going to let them kind of run the show. We're just going to stop. Good night. How you have a good night, man. Much love, much respect to you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. I got an alarm going off. Keep spreading that knowledge and teaching and not talking. I love people that teach and don't just talk. And Howie is definitely a teacher, not a talker. So if you can, please, please, please make it. I know I'm going to be stepping on some toes at 5 o'clock on Sunday, but these guys are it's the only time that they can come up and get here to do that. So for you that I'm stepping on your toes, you know who I am. Know that I'm doing it out of love and respect for two great young people. And I say young people. Kyle just had had his first child, and Chris has got a baby coming. So, it's good. You're good, Howie. Good to go. So yeah, so keep that in mind. And now we'll jump back into food prep. So we were talking about free or vacuum sealing. Vacuum sealing is another great way to not only preserve food but to cook food, and I'll explain that in a second. Um, so preserving food in freeze dry bags and stuff, you can dehydrate and then put it into freeze dried bags or Mylar bags and vacuum seal them up, and it does a great job that way. So it's one of those situations where you really have to um, pay attention to what you're doing, because if you get a bag that doesn't seal, you can lose stuff really quick. It's 11 p.m. for me in Canada right now. Oh, Freaky Geek. Yeah, it's 11 here too. I think we're in the same time zone going through. Kind of getting a little bit, just realizing England took off with my pillow. That's why my butt's getting sore. Um, so um, Cooking though with vacuum sealed bags, one of the great ways you can cook like trout and stuff is after you're done. If you take a trout and you put it inside a bag, or even salmon or something, and you vacuum seal it up, and then poach it in hot water, man, you want to talk about amazing texture to fish. It does a wonderful job. You can do chicken as well. That way, it does a really good job to do it that way. So does anybody else, the freeze dried thing I can't get into too much. Dehydrating is there. If you were to buy a dehydrator, what would you buy? A seed for your thoughts. I like that Excalibur, and I think it's called the Excalibur. It's like a 9 tray one. It's the bigger one, because the small ones you can't produce enough out of it for the amount of consumption of energy that it is. Um, I like the one that Jess has, and I'm wanting to say it's an Excalibur. I'm pretty sure it's an Excalibur. I'd have to look it up. Um, Martha Adams says the Excalibur is really good. Yeah, that one's a pretty good one. Vacuum sealing in jars, dry goods, flour, rice. You can buy the vacuum sealed jars. Oh, there's one more food prep that we got to go into too that I don't believe I forgot, because I'll tell that to all the new people, and they'll understand better in a second. But yeah, vacuum sealing the jars with the new lids and stuff for your dry goods, like your dry beans, rice, noodles, flour, starch, baking soda, baking powder. All of those things are absolutely amazing to do that way. There's the Excalibur 9 tray dehydrator, North Star Prep Center. I know that's the one I'm thinking about. It's amazing. The other one that I've completely forgot, and yeah, you gotta do your vacuum seal on your Little Debbie cakes too. Me and Terry, poor boy homestand, we got that one covered. Um, Save all your extra cash, cause that Excalibur yeah, they do cost. They're expensive. Ferment, there you go, enriched refuge. That's where I was going. I can't believe that I forgot about fermenting. Yeah, fermenting, making sauerkraut, fermenting your carrots and your fermenting pickles and cucumbers, onions, broccoli, cauliflower, and keeping fermentation going on. Guys, for you guys that are new, fermentation has changed my life. Kombucha, if you have severe arthritis or joint issues, kombucha will change your life. Um, hey, good night, Rehab Life. Appreciate you, and peace be with you as well, brother. Um, but kombucha and fermented food have changed my life. I've actually gotten off of it for a few weeks purposely, because my hands, I have to come off of it, like cycling with anything, or it doesn't help me as much. My hands are starting to get stiff, so I got to get back on. But kombucha took me from where ELYN could not hold my pinky without me literally crying. to me being able to feel like I could step back in a ring and fight. And then doing the fermented vegetables, the krauts, the fermented pickles and stuff. Oh man, it's one of the best ways to keep food, and kimchi and spicy. Oh man, it's so good. Um, Fermented milk. You got the kefir and stuff too. I have never done kefir and stuff. Um, yeah, North Star Prep Center is another one that kombucha has changed her life too with the arthritis thing. I'm telling you, if you have arthritis or joint issues, go buy 6 bottles of kombucha at the grocery store. If you're not somebody that likes wheatgrass or grassy stuff, don't buy the green ones. I like the mango. I like there's a bunch of different. Don't buy the ones in the plastic jars. They tend to taste horrible. But uh go buy 6, drink half a bottle a day for 12 days. If it doesn't help you, it's not going to. But in 12 days, I promise you, you will feel, if it works for you, it's going to change your life. Oh wow, that's cool. I am just okay, talking to somebody else. Um yeah, we've lost some people. Some people have gotten off here because it's late for other people. Get the glass jar and save them to make your own. Yeah, you can make your own, but what I'm saying, to get started to see if it's going to help you, it's $3 a bottle. It's like taking medicine. I actually enjoy the flavor of them, but drinking half the bottle, you can chug it throughout the day. The first day you drink it, stay at home. It does clean you out a little bit, but after that, it doesn't bother you at all. It's your gut health. It's pulling all that lactic acid and all that bad stuff that gets you in your joints out of your body. And I'm telling you, in 12 days, it is amazing. Chris, there are flavored kombuchas. I thought it was something similar to apple cider vinegar. Yeah, Joe, there are flavored ones. The ones that I like are the mango. They have a tart cherry. They have a pineapple peach. They have some at Earth Bear called root beer. And they have one that's like a Dr. Pepper, that are just amazing. They're carbonated drinks if you second ferment them, and they're great, especially if you drink lots of water and you like to have that carbonation. Try it out. I'm telling you, the passion berry is good. The blueberry one is good. They have one here that's it's like an apple and chili, like spicy chili one that's pretty good. Night, Emma. I don't like fermented things, but I make kefir, coconut milk, and cheese, and it helps for GI really good. Yeah, Martha Adams, it's one of those things that even if you don't like fermented foods, to eat a portion of them during your meal does so much for your health. Like just a spoonful of kraut or a spoonful of kimchi or something, and just if you, it's like taking medicine. Just eat it and get it over with. It just helps so much. Hey, Denise Coffworth. I hope I'm saying that right. Have a good night. Thank you for coming. Good night, Ice and me. Icy and me. Where do you buy them? You can buy them at Walmart. You can buy them at Earth Fare. You can buy them at Fresh Market. You can buy kombucha at just about any major retailer. They're about $3.50 a bottle in this area. I would love to get off my pain pills. Patricia, it will. I take nothing. Actually took the first Motrin today that I have taken in almost 2 years. So some people should not eat it. Yeah, it can kind of give you some gassy issues sometimes. Walmart, Publix, yeah, some large grocery stores and gas stations even. I've never found it in a gas station except for like in Atlanta and some of the big cities. But you can find it just about anyway. Grew up in Utah. I hated the canned sauerkraut, but homemade totally. Yeah, homemade kraut is so much different. This is so true, Chris, about Geneve, Gen, Genevieve Foods. Anyone should try it. Life change. Absolutely. Um, I'm trying to catch up with everybody here. Elderflower, yep. Violet, stuff like that. Elderberry is another good one to do. Juicing is another good way to preserve food. Making your juice in it and bottling it, fermenting it, make it into mead, make it into wine. Guys, the Lord doesn't have any problem with you having a glass of wine. The Lord has a problem with you having an addiction. But making wine and making meads and making things of that nature from what is given to us here on earth and putting it up for stores is good. It's great for cooking. It's great for your body. It's great for your blood. It's great for your intestines, but it's in moderation. A glass a day, 2 glasses a day, and then that's it. Drinking a whole bottle of wine during the day is not good. Bread making is another. Sourdough is also amazing. You will gain, if you mention something on here, Patricia, you will probably get 15,000 different ways to go and look at stuff, but it's awesome to do. Rosework, what's going on? I found a video showing how to make a gluten-free sourdough. That would be interesting. If you can find that, Rose, post it and we'll approve it to be put up. If you know where you watch that, give us that information. Moringa, yeah, another good one. Yeah, I figured it out in Rich Refuge. So yeah, it's awesome. We've been going an hour and 16 minutes, guys. We can keep going for a little bit longer. If you have more questions and stuff, that's awesome. For everybody on, just to let you know how it's working with the seeds, if you're new here, I've started at the bottom from the emails, and I'm just working my way through. I'm about a third of the way through the seeds, and I've already filled 75 or so packages. I know who the last person that was on the email when I closed it. I'm closing it down for now. Once I get through there and get it done, it's there. If you are a old shoe egghead member of this page, send me a message through email and word it egghead. You know, even if you're not a member, word it egghead in the subscription, and I will contact you and figure something out. Even if that's pulling it from my own stores on certain things. There's a variety, and it's actually a good variety on these seeds. There's beans, there's tomatoes, there's giant pumpkins, there's broccoli, there's spinach. I think everybody's getting spinach and stuff. Lots of good stuff for the fall garden too. Appalachia, PA. Donna, how are you? Another part of the beautiful Appalachian Mountains. PA is an awesome place for the mountains too. Donna, what is the oldest? There's the oldest wooden bridge in your area. What is that town? Do you know what I'm talking about? It's in the Appalachian Mountains, but it's an old wood bridge. If you would like to help Chris on, thank you, North Star Prep Stetter. If you guys need to get a hold of me, there's my information. Mims just gave you that. That's the P.O. box and my email address for snail mail. And here, what is the name of that town, Donna? If you know, I've been trying to figure that out. It's the oldest trussled bridge, train bridge, I think, in the area, and the whole town's built around it. But I've been bear hunting there. One of the only few bear hunts I've ever been on was there. So cool, but welcome. We appreciate you being here. We've been talking about prepping food or preparing foods and things like that. Joe, what's going on? Chris Potato Head here, sending you equivalent of $5 US. Keep up the cool work. Appreciate it. First time that Joe ever did this, it shocked the snot out of me. I'm like, Joe, why are you sending me $100 and something bucks? And he said, it's in Mexican, buddy. It's $5. Hey, the $5 is amazing. I appreciate it. Joe, I don't know if you were on earlier. We have been gifted a truck by a beautiful subscriber. So all the money that I had said was coming, that came in through super chats and through videos and through YouTube, that we're going to purchasing a new video or new vehicle soon. We are now going to use to pay the taxes and to go get the vehicle. I mean, it's still going to cost us at least $1,000, $1,500 to pay taxes and get everything done and go get that stuff. So we appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for everybody else that's done super chats tonight. Thank you to my moderators. Thank you to my eggheads. Thank you to everybody that's here. I appreciate it. Not that we're needing to get off right now, but Kinzua Bridge, that is it. Yes, ma'am. There is a little grocery store slash bar slash restaurant, and they have rooms you can rent above it, and we stayed there. But Kinzua Bridge, yes, that is it. Yep, it is a blessing. So we got that. We have to go into the belly of the beast of the coronavirus right now to go get. It's actually in a very rural area. to go down and get that. I'm not as smart as most, so I is not an egghead. You are an egghead, Freaky Geek. You're always an egghead. And just because you can't join don't mean you're an egghead. And I understand that for everybody. So I appreciate it. So yeah, we are just keeping it up, keeping it going. So we're gonna go get that truck. It's got some high mileage on it, but it's a lot better truck than where I'm at now. It's actually almost, let's see, 93. It's 11 years newer than the little truck that we're driving now. And it's got about 180,000 less miles on it, which my little Toyota will keep, and we'll have repairs done to it and keep it around because it's just a great truck. I put the link, but it isn't clickable. Where was that out there? I'm sorry, Rosework. Well, one of you guys, where was it? I missed it, Rosework. Oh, Rosework, try to do that one more time if you got it. And then one of our yeah, there you go. North Star Prep Center said, let her know what it is, and she'll do it. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about there. I was reading something. I was like, whoa. But anyway, that's where all the funds that we make from YouTube are going. Like I said earlier, we make about $100, $150 a month through our videos and stuff. And then we probably do another $50 a month in super chat. So we appreciate it all, guys. Adina S., you might be able to have it transported to you for cheaper. Adina, I don't think so. Not right now with everything going the way that it is. Duncan, you did not need to do that. Help you with the postage for the seats for those who can't afford it. Duncan, I appreciate that, and I'm sure everybody else does too. Thank you very much. When you guys specifically say that you want stuff to go to certain things, we will do that. I actually have one. It is raining again, guys. We have been nonstop rain. I know some of you guys like don't complain, but I have no garden this year because of the rain. It has killed everything. It's crazy. But if you specify something that you want something to go to, that's awesome. I appreciate it. Send the rain here. Yeah, we'll send it to you for. I don't want to get rid of it. I hate to say that it's a bad thing, but I mean it's crazy. We have literally. I've got yellow beans. It's just wow. I'm just starting to garden here, looking for heirloom seeds. Can't find them here. Denise, I think, are you one of the ones that has sent me an email for the seeds? I am working from bottom up on those and going there. I don't know if you've made the list. I will email you when that happens. Yeah, I'm not going to lose it 100%. I got plenty of lettuce and spinach and stuff for the summer. But the other, hey, Diana, what's going on? We don't have much of a harvest because of of no rain. Send it to Cali. Yeah, it's kind of it's a weird situation right now, guys. I know something I want to talk about right now, and I really think that's something going down Tennessee River and missing us. Yeah. Remember to put your questions in caps for me, guys, if you have a question. Heaven Essential, what's going on? But one of the things I wanted to talk about is the amazing effect that this coronavirus has had on our physical environment. And I know the corona, Mims and them have had some issues and stuff with it, but I know that we've had this, this horrible virus going around, and it's affected a lot of people and stuff. You guys know how I am. I think it's a virus. It's going to do what it wants to do. It doesn't matter what you do. You can practice safe stuff and wash your hands and stuff, but the mask doesn't help you. It's been shown that and all that good stuff. But anyway, yeah, I did not worry, Chris. You're doing too much already. And but anyway, the environment. Our woods are greener. Grass is growing 5 times quicker than it ever has in the bottom and the top. Usually when you ride through the Appalachian Mountains, and those are the individuals that live up this way in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, things this way, down through the Cumberland Gap and stuff, when you ride through this way, you usually see these huge gaps of all these dead pine trees where the beetles killed them and the ash beetles have come through, and they're gone. The hardwoods and the undergrowth and the lively trees have taken it back over. And that's something that has to be said when we're talking about some of the good things that have happened from this. And I think that's one of the reasons we do need to concentrate on infrastructure a lot more, is because, man, just us not driving as much for that 2 or 3 months has helped. It's helped our Mother Earth out a whole bunch. And you guys know I'm not a green hippie type, you hug every tree in the world. But man, I'm telling you, it has done so much wonders for this area. Farming is gambling, absolutely. So that's awesome. We still got 60 people on. If you're new, just put in where you're from, if you don't mind. Let me know where everybody's from. I want to kind of see that. Good night, all. Thanks for chat. God bless. Kelly, I appreciate you being here. And thank you for coming over and joining us. Himalayas were visible after 21 days. Yep. World Without Rouge, Southern Virginia. I'm old. You're one of the best. Oklahoma, Tyler, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Myrtle Point, Oregon. I've been to Myrtle Point, Oregon. Believe it or not, I have been through that area. Northern Virginia, Southwestern Virginia, Wisconsin, South Carolina. We know where you at down there, Bullfrog Swamp. Down there. Duncan, how old? Duncan's not old. Duncan's an old shoe here, I think is what she was saying, but I may be missed that. Guadalajara, Mexico, California originally. Close to Chattanooga, Bama side. Any idea when the seed shortage will end? It may never end now, TJ. It really may not. Conroe, Texas. Mims is from Mississippi. Southern Indiana. It is beautiful. Quintero, Mexico. New Jersey. Awesome, guys. I appreciate all you guys. Mississippi, Gossmania in the house. West Central Minnesota. Minnesota is where North Star Prep Steaders from. We all have sweaters. I love Minnesotans. I'm going to tell you guys one of the funniest stories ever. And it's actually not a Minnesota story. The guy's from Minnesota, but he's working as a state trooper in Wisconsin, in the upper part of Wisconsin. So he's a friend of mine. I rode bikes with. Southern California in the house. So we get Central Mississippi. Still got people. Midwest Missouri. Yes, you are, Duncan. So anyway, he's telling this story, and he says, it's been in the 90s the past month. No sweaters. Yeah, no sweaters needed. Have to go. Good night. Getting started on a homestead. Appreciate you being here. So the story. Okay. So he gets a call. He's on patrol, and he gets a call, and it's a moose on vehicle. So what that means is somebody in a vehicle has hit a moose. Well, he shows up to the scene, and the vehicle's not messed up, but it's a guy in a big truck pulling a big fifth wheel trailer. And as he comes up, the guy is losing his mind. No. And he says, "Whoa, settle down, buddy. What's going on?" He goes, "It's in the trailer, in this fifth wheel camper trailer." And he said, "What's in the trailer?" He said, "The moose." And he said, about the time he was walking up beside the trailer, this big moose came through the side of the trailer. Well, they carried 44 Magnums when they were up in that area because of these moose in the cars and stuff. But they're so tall, when the truck hit it, it just flipped it up and it went through the upper part of the fifth wheel and into the cabin. So he said he gets over to the door, and this guy's a big man. He said he flips open the door and he sees this moose is standing up inside this trailer and it's kicking its hoofs through the side. And he looks at the guy and he said, "Oh, well." He slings the door open. He goes, pow, 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 pow. He puts 6 shots of 44 Magnum in this moose, shuts the door, hands the guy a kill tag, and says, "That's all I could do." But he killed this moose inside. Georgiana Malone, what is going on? Good to see you. He kills this moose inside this guy's fifth wheel trailer, but there was nothing else they could do. At least the guy got the meat. But it had flipped this moose up in and broke its 2 legs closest to the vehicle, but flipped it up there. Absolutely hilarious. Everyone here seems to have a great attitude and love it. Think it is Chris's attitude coming through. Thank you, Martha. We all have a good time. Everybody on here, I've met most of the people on here, and if not, they feel like family anyway. So, yeah, it was a mess, but you already lost your trailer just about. So, yeah, that was an event. And you got to see, this guy was, I mean, I'm a big guy, guys, and he's like this big, but he's like 6'6". He's just like, I slung the door open, pow, 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 pow. I was like, okay. Plain Speaker says, great story. Plain Speaker don't say a whole lot, but when he does, it's meaningful. And that great story means a lot. Christine Harrison, I'm so glad to see you tonight. For some reason, I miss you every week when I go in here. Lon Wilson, Irwin, Tennessee, what's going on? That's right here in my own hometown. We're right here in the same area. So good to see you. How do you explain that to the insurance company? Well, the thing is that you're going to explain it as the moose did the damage to the thing, but the dead moose inside, you just got to go clean that. You're not saving that fifth wheel trailer anyway. You're just going to go clean up and get the meat now. Some tales you just can't make it. Absolutely, Freaky. You can't make that up. Let's see. Speaker one to tell the grandkids for sure. Absolutely. Farmers had probably seen it. Police, yeah, the police report would have been interesting. He just gave him a kill tag. Radios it in. I had to fire shots, put down an animal, code whatever it is in that area. And the best friend channel, what's going on, best friend? But I've had some sad stories happen with deer on car and stuff too. Helping my oldest daughter get her homestead ready to sell. Bedford Ranch, 5 acres and fenced in. She has put me to work. Georgiana Malone, send me the information and we'll throw it up on the thing. If you've got like a Zillow or any place where she's listed it, throw that up here, Georgiana. You've done so much for the channel. We'd love to put it out there and maybe help another homesteader in the area get started. Got a call tonight. Good night, Mama Z, Texas Kitchen. Thank you for being here. But if you want to put that up and do that, that would be fine with me. And wasp getting in our house and we freak out. Can't imagine a moose in your trailer. So, are you asking me? The only thing I do have a Facebook, but I don't do anything on it. It's just there. I don't even really want to do it. When I got him up here on the mountain, we went off grid. I threw away everything. The only reason we started YouTube was a journal for ELYN's homeschool, and it blew up because I forgot to put it as private. But I'm glad because I get to share the word of God and I get to talk to all you guys. But I do have Twitter, and it's under Single Dad. If somebody wants to list my Twitter deal there, that would be great. Not real active on that either. I've thought about doing Instagram just because it gives me a way to shoot stuff out daily. So gonna list either Saturday or Monday. Okay, well, send me the information and we'll get it out. We may have done that. We may have overthrown everybody being here for too long. Stuart Moore, Deep South Texas. It has been in the mid 90s and last week in triple digits. That is just craziness. We were 95 today here on the mountain. And guys, usually we're cooler on the mountain than it is down in the valley by 7 or 8 degrees, and we've been hotter on top of the mountain than they have been down at the bottom. But we've been raining every day, so it's just been so humid. God keeps us here for a reason and have to work at it every day. Martha Adams, absolutely. That's why we're here. World Without Rule of Law, good night. Thank you for coming in. God had other plans for you, YouTube channel. Yes, he does. He does. And that's why we're here. I don't do social media much either, but it's the only way to stay in contact with family. It is because we all forgot how to use the written word and write letters and stuff. I love receiving letters, guys. If you like to write me letters. I'll write you back. I enjoy that greatly. Um, So, hey, Chris, I think you should revisit your solar setup only because I'm starting to mess with one. Uh, oh, if you need some information, just email me back to Rootstead. You also need to get a hold of Considerate Joy and go watch his channel. I'm getting ready to put in a 1600-watt wind turbine too. And then the next step on that will be a 3-stage step. We're going to also put in a hydroelectric system as well. That's been my goal from the beginning. So Georgiana Malone says 8140 Westco Road, 830 South, Parish Crossing, Indiana. Uh-oh, I missed something there. I was reading it off for you, Georgiana Malone. I thought that was for the listing. Sorry, I don't think I can go back and edit that. I'm grateful for FaceTime with my son and friends in Alaska now. Oh yeah, now that's also always fun. Have you, Enrich Refuge? Have you looked into Marco Polo? Marco Polo is awesome because it's just video chat, text messaging, so you can go back and forth. But it's really nice because a lot of times you can't sit there and just do that, but you're getting to have a conversation with the actual seeing what the person's doing too. That's a really good one. Marco Polo, I like a lot. I was just glad we break from the humidity. Yeah, it's been sweet potatoes today. Digging sweet potatoes. I got to dig potatoes still myself. They're just now dying out because it's been so wet. I removed that because I thought it was a private address. I forgot you were selling. You might have to repost that, Georgiana Malone. That is the address for the home for sale. If someone is looking for a nice homestead, repost it, please, Georgiana. They didn't. They got a little itchy there. They were trying to save you from people getting on there and doing that. Da, da, da. Aren't you glad I made you? Yes, I'm glad, sis. I'm glad. I'm glad you did. If you guys have not been over and seen Mims's pet chickens, they're not for getting eggs and providing for her homestead, but they're pet chickens. They're pretty cute. Need to go over and check those out. Mims is the only homesteader that has chickens, not to provide for her homestead. They're just pets. I have a ton of chickens now. I had a ton of chickens, and then a coyote, guys. I lost most of the garden to the coyote running a big doe and fawn, and I've never had coyotes up here until this year. Ran a big doe and a fawn through just threw my tomatoes and destroyed most of them. And then he came in and got 12 of the 25 chicks that we had that were ELYN. ELYN had 25 chicks that she was going to start raising eggs and selling them to a local grocery store, or not grocery store, but convenience store here. She had agreed to buy all her eggs, and that just sucked. It broke her little heart. And you can't buy chickens really anymore. So it's just bad. Yeah, it's part. She understands that it's part of the homestead lifestyle. Elyn's pretty good at understanding that. She knows where her food comes and stuff. Um, but it's just crazy. We got 3 silkies. That's the last time we do that. They are high. Silkies are amazing though. Silkies will give you a bunch of stuff. Well, we've been hunting him pretty hard. I've got traps set and everything else, and just craziness. I need to do more than 2 videos. Rose work. Okay. All right, guys, we've been on for an hour and 40 minutes. I appreciate all the new people that are on here. I appreciate all my moderators, and you guys know how much you guys do to me and how much you mean. All you old eggheads out there, I appreciate you a whole lot. And we're going to end it here. I hope we got some good knowledge out there today. Thank you for all of the there's the address and stuff for Georgiana Malone's daughter's homestead. So if you want to grab that real quick, we'll keep it running for a second so you can get that. Western North Carolina, Jessica Lyle, thank you. But anyway, with that being said, God bless. Live with what God gives you, and we're out of here. See you guys.